Okie dokes. So great. So it's live on YouTube. Okie dokes. So you guys are live. All right. So great. So it's live on YouTube. Okie dokes. So you guys are live. All right. So great. So it's live on YouTube. Okie dokes. So you guys are live. All right. Something.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been repetitive.
repeating itself even when you
So
listen again.
it's live on YouTube. That's strange. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, so
Yeah, we
I
can
think
hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah, sure.
This is, trust me, this is the first time I'm trying to live stream from YouTube. So I'm just going to try and check if it's actually working on YouTube just so that, yeah. Why? Oh, sorry, guys. And let's see if we're live on YouTube.
So I just opened it on YouTube and it shows that it is coming up.
It's working, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's fine. Okay, great. So we're just gonna start. Thank you guys. First episode, first issues. I'm back to the Zoom room while it's live, so that's okay. Alrighty. So welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us in this first episode. I'm sure you'll be wondering what is the 5-minute Climergy Feud. It is a rapid fire debate style climate energy that kind of like shows where participants battle ideas in just 5 minutes each. So which means every participant has 5 minutes to debate and elaborate on their points. It's a space where bold, youth-driven perspectives challenges the status quo on climate and energy practices anywhere in the world. It could be the global south, it could be North America, anywhere, you just name it. Now, we have the amazing discerning judges, and we have just one mic, so which means every word counts. So before I go into like the participants and all that, let's start with today's debate topic, which is clean energy just colonialism in disguise? Trust me, this is a very thought-provoking topic, which is why we are super excited and pumped for this episode. It pushes us to kind of like unpack so many things, which are like the deeper narratives behind green transitions, critically examining, who benefits, who bears the cost, and what a just energy looks like in the future, if we would ever get there. So yeah. What's our future goals with the 5 minute climate field? It's very simple, and I'll try to wrap it up in with 3 points. Okay. So the first one is we aim to amplify youth voices, across schools, communities, and forums to kind of like discuss on climate policies that affect the environment as a whole. We also want to turn the best debate arguments into short policy briefs, influencing real world decisions. Our goal is to equip young people, especially from marginalized and indigenous communities, with the tools that are necessary to understand and shape the future of energy. Maybe sometime in the future, we would have global collaborations and the opportunity to speak at international platforms. So that's part of the goal. Now, let's introduce our judges, which is like one of the favorite parts. So I would start with Chukwudi Ajebo, who is the executive support professional. Chukwudi is an executive support professional skilled in engineering, project management, legal compliance, corporate governance, and C-suite support. He's passionate about community impact and streamlining operations for nonprofits. Thank you, Chukwudi, for being one of the judges.
I'm excited to be here and nice to meet you guys.
Great. And our next judge is Aliyah Munshi. She is a youth climate advocate. She has a master's in global development, which is focused on environment and climate change from the University of Manchester, where she explored the complex challenges of inequality, climate change, sustainability, and environmental justice. She also holds a bachelor's degree in international business management from Heriot-Watt University, which shaped her entrepreneurial mindset and strategic approach. She served as a youth delegate at COI 19 and COP 29 in Baku, and as a delegate and speaker at the UN ECOSOC Youth Forum 2025 at the United Nations in New York, where she delivered an official intervention on youth engagement and sustainable development. Thank you, Aliyah, for being here. Really nice and impressive profile.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited for this.
Great. And our next and final judge is Sausalina Larasati. She's a law student at Universitas Gadjah Mada, which we could say UGM. She was a moderator for NDC consultations by Yongo, UNDP, and Youth for Climate. She was a UN EcoSoc delegate and COI 19 speaker and delegate. She is a mentee of the Climate Reality Tour. Thank you, Salsa, for being here.
And thank you for having me here. I'm really thrilled to see everyone here share their ideas and judging here with amazing people. So thank you, Summer.
Great. Thank you so much. And now to our first participants on this show. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I'm so proud of you all and I'm so excited. And as we all know, the winner goes home with a grand prize just to motivate youth to involve in these kind of conversations and also to encourage public speaking. So see this as a platform for you to learn, for you to grow and unlearn some of the things that you know. Okay. So our first participant is Ngozi Awoke, who would be arguing in favor. So I would give the judges time to kind of like write down the name, for participant one so that they know who participant one is and all that. Okay, so I'm going to set the timer so that once it's 5 minutes, you would hear the sound. So I would unmute when it's almost 5 minutes so that you could hear it. And once you hear the sound, that means you have to stop. But if you're done before 5 minutes, that means you're pretty safe. But the problem is if you're now under 3 minutes or you're like 3 minutes, 30 seconds, that's a problem because this is a 5 minute feud, meaning you have to do it within 5 minutes, but not 3 minutes and 2 minutes. Like 3 minutes and 5 minutes, there's a lot of gap, right? So you could actually speak more on that. So I know I didn't want to tell you, oh, you'll be participant one because that means like it's too prepared. So sorry to put you on the spot, but you're the first speaker on Ngozi. So 1 second while I get my timer. Great. Like we said, when she's speaking, we all mute our mics just so that the judges could also hear her well. Yeah. So are you ready, Ngozi?
At this point, I don't think I have any other choice.
Okay, so 1 second, 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm just going to show my phone. So this is 5 minutes. So I'm going to set it now and then you can
Okay.
start. Okay, good.
Right. Yeah, that's
All right.
good.
Go ahead.
But everybody can hear me clearly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can. So 1, 2, ready, go.
All right. So typically I would have said, oh, within my coding debaters, but I'm pretty tense right now. It's been a long time I did this or something like this. So I'm just going to dive right into it. When I saw Summer's post, I was like, oh, I don't even know what this is all about, basically. But let me get my head into something. And it's been mind-blowing and eye-opening, basically. So clean energy and colonialism. I did not expect that colonialism would have anything to do with the use of clean energy in this 21st century, or even the talks of colonialism as of now. But with my research, I think I'll have to retract on that mindset that I have. So personally, I look forward to a world where clean energy is the order of the day, where there's very minimal greenhouse emission, greenhouse exposure, and all the diseases that comes with it. But how much energy or how, when we look at how long is it going to take for us to achieve that goal as a world today, a clean, free world, clean air, how long is it going to take for us to get there? And what are the things that could impede this? So in relating this to colonialism, I'm going to start with, it is no surprise that countries with high emission of green energies are at the forefront of this thing. It is no surprise at all. But then, why are they pushing for green energy? Is it because they care so much about the world, or is it because this is just another way for colonialism 2.0? Yeah, I'm going to use that word because the sort of colonialism that we're talking about basically is majorly the exploitative colonialism, where, as it was before, where the use of oil, rubber, and the likes, colonial masters came, they literally came to Africa and then maybe precisely the global south because of what they could gain. So colonial patterns is the system where raw materials were gotten or extracted from countries that were colonized, manufacture these products, and then send it back to the global south countries as manufactured goods. Now, things like this were basically used to enrich the colonial countries. They were used to enrich themselves, leaving Africa where we are today. Today, we are nowhere close to these developed countries. We're nowhere close to the likes of China, the United States, and even USA. The countries that these people colonized are nowhere close to them. So I'm just going to start with, we already know what colonialism is, right? And also we know that clean energy is the energy that comes from the use of renewable zero emission sources that do not even release greenhouse gases, the likes of solar panel with turbines and all of that. Those can be classified under clean energy. So I am going to start with, how is resource extraction and neocolonialism? Bear in mind that I said the colonialism that is at play here is the exploitative type of colonialism. Now, in order for us to have a full green economy, full green world, clean world, we need to work on the technologies that affects that we need to enhance clean energy: solar panels, batteries, wind turbines. This requires various specific materials like lithium, cobalt, nickel, these rare earth metals that are predominantly predominant in the global south countries, right? So what does this mean? It means the rush for these resources is going to be at play again, as it was during the time of the oil boom. The need for these materials, the need for lithium, rare earth materials, nickel, cobalt, manganese, and the likes is going to be in rush. There'll be a power play at hand because every global north country, every country who looks as if they are at the forefront of advanced technology that needs this, there'll be a rush for it. And it just means Africa again is going to be the dumping ground for it, because they would come, extract this product, displace our people, make life inhabitable for the communities where these resources are in abundance, and then leave us high and dry again. Also, there's this environmental and social impacts that this is going to have. It can lead to displacement of community, loss of livelihood, violations of indigenous rights. All of these are the things. There's no actual benefit of clean energy to the global north, global south at this time. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not saying that we do not need clean energy, even in developing nations. But as it is today, for tomorrow, maybe tomorrow could be better.
Sorry, it's time. It's already 5 minutes.
Well, to round
Okay.
up quickly. So let us know there's no immediate benefits to the extraction of these materials for the global south countries. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. We'll give the judges time to record their scores for Ngozi before we go over to the next participant. But thank you very much, Ngozi. Great submission. Okay. Judges, are you all done? Great. Thank you. So our next participant is Kelvin Anamali. You would be arguing against, and you have 5 minutes. So I'm just going to start in 1, 2, go.
Hi everyone. Thanks for the opportunity to be able to present on the or to share insights on this topic. I hope you can hear me clearly. Okay, so I'm of the opinion that clean energy is not a disguise for colonialism. My name is Kelvin Anamali, popularly known as Akis. I believe clean energy itself is a tool for global prosperity that could help communities, could help lots of countries and increase their development or increase their economic growth. Now, one thing you want to understand about topics, agendas, and change as well as technology is that in my region, I remember when I was growing up, there was these concepts. There's this school of thought that if you were using this Wivon attachment, this foreign air, it means you'll be going to hell. There were school of thought that using televisions were very wrong. That if you watch televisions, yeah, there's still people who still believe that. But along the line, I think 10 years, 20 years down the line, you can see that some of these individuals changed their school of thought. And currently now, if you go to a home, you are unable to watch television. It feels like you are archaic. It feels like you're in the past. So most people they felt like it has these lots of issues back then. But it's good we clarify most of these issues. That's why I want you to understand is that when topics like this are being brought forward, you want to dissect, understand the core principles or core meanings of these individual tools. So for clean energy usually it refers to energy that is a renewable energy, energy that you get from natural sources. Currently in Africa, in Nigeria, as of record, I'm currently using my rechargeable lanterns. These are energies you can get from renewable energies that you can easily. So when once it goes down, I can easily power it up again. You can also see individuals. I was supposed to put on the generator build because of the noise pollution and air pollution. It has lots of issues, and also my environment. There are neighbors there. This usually brings discomfort to them. So you want to understand the concept of this clean energy. It tends to help reduce this climate change, brings insights and valuable contributions or valuable benefits to the community. I also wrote down some insights here. It says there are some regions that have benefited very much from these green energy, from this clean energy. One of them is it says, according to the International Renewable Energy Agency, that's ARENA, the renewable energy sector employed over 11 million people worldwide in 2020. So this is us looking at some of the benefits that is associated with clean energy. We also have insights on people. So some of the benefits we can be getting from clean energy is the environmental sustainability, there's job creation, economic benefits, there's energy independence. So energy independence usually relates to the fact that for us in Africa or whichever regions, we are usually dependent on importing or leveraging on foil fossils to power up our generators, to power up some of our resources. But we can start leveraging natural sources such as solar energy from solar from sunlight, which is very natural. You can get it. So most individuals are now looking towards focusing on or getting access to solar panels, which can power up their devices, power up their homes. We also have energy which you can also get from wind. We have the ones you can get from hydro, that's from water. We also have the ones you can get from geothermal, that's the one from the heat waves from the earth. There's also the one that relates from biomass, from organic matter, from plants and waste materials. So one thing we want to understand is that this is not a colonialist agenda. Clean energy itself, it's called clean for a reason. It reduces the atmospheric pollution. So anything that it helps to better the life of our everyday life should be looked from the angle where what it really is and not a colonialist agenda. Also, there are also regions which are currently benefiting from clean energy, and they are currently independent from individuals from these colonial countries or more. I also believe also you also want to know that most of us are currently using devices that are being made from these colonial countries or more. and you don't want to look at it like using an iPhone is related to being colonial or being colonized. So that's it. Thanks everybody. I hope I've been able to share one or two insights. Thank you very much. Chiboy.
Great. Thank you, Kelvin. Spot on, 5 minutes. Thank you. And so our next participant is Karen Beetle, and you will be arguing in favor. So just, are you ready?
Yes, sorry. Is everyone hearing me?
Yeah, we can.
Am I sure? All right.
So
Can I
you,
begin?
no, I haven't started yet. So you start in one, two, go.
Okay. So first they brought us religion, then they took our freedom. Now it's clean energy, and we know from history this is going to end in a tragedy. A warm greeting to the chairman, the moderator, accurate panel of judges, my co-debaters, listeners at home. My name is Karen Bito, and in the next 5 minutes, I'll be convincing you as to why clean energy is indeed colonialism in disguise. Before I delve into my points, permit me to first define two key terms. First, what is clean energy? My co-debaters have already done justice to that, but just for clarity's sake, clean energy is any source of electricity, power, or heat that is generated in a way that is not detrimental to our environment. Colonialism, on the other hand, has been defined by the Oxford Dictionary, and I'll paraphrase, to mean the political or administrative stance of taking over administrative and economic control of one country by another. From the definition of our key terms, we will have our first argument, which is economic exploitation. From history, we've always seen that Africa is the resource hub of the continent and the globe generally. Foreign countries first started the exploitation of gold in Africa, the exploitation of ivory from Africa, then the exploitation of our crude and fossil fuels. Now they want to do same with our natural resources such as wind energy, solar energy, biomass energy, just to name a few. We know that from history, whenever foreign companies come to set up shop in Africa, it is always detrimental to African societies. While they always have the argument that they are doing these things with the mind of the people of Africa in heart, we've seen time and time again that the people end up having the least shares of any benefits that are derived from these resources. And we believe that these people are doing these things for our benefit, whereas they're just rather cutting away our resources to their countries and leaving us with, should I say, 20-80% relation. This then takes us to our second point, which is a recreation of what happened during the fossil fuel era. When companies such as ExxonMobil, Shell, BP, and the others came to Nigeria, for example, to set up shop, they had to set up, should I say, colonies for their workers. So we ended up having situations where you see places that Nigerians could not access because these belonged to the white man, except these Nigerians were drivers, house servants, cleaners, chefs, and all of that. And this exact same situation will repeat itself with clean energy because we will see these companies having to set up shop for solar industries, wind companies, and bringing foreign professionals. And under the guise of saying things like they don't feel safe with the locals, these places will be cordoned off to Nigerians, to Africans in their own countries. To me, I believe this is a form of colonialism. This then takes me to my third point, which is the exploitation of human resources. Blacks, Africans, you and I, we've always been viewed by the white man with no intent to be racist as being the stronger people. This was even the foundation upon which the whole slavery era occurred. It was saying that, okay, the nigger is a black person with more strength and can stay on the plantation for longer hours. We would see the same thing happening in clean energy environments where they'll feel that Africans being used to the environment don't need to be paid as much. They can work for longer hours. They can stay under the sun for longer hours. They can do the harder labor for cheaper prices. And this would just be a recurrence of colonialism all over again. This also takes me to the point of looking at examples of African countries with vestiges of colonialism in them in the form of military control. Countries such as Burkina Faso, which until recently was still under military control by France, you could see how horrible their environment was. While France was benefiting the most from the natural resources of Burkina Faso, the people were always under subjugation. They were first always having conflict because the French had to fight somebody. So there were always terrorist attacks against these French companies to make sure that they constantly have their military there so that they can keep having their drilling, their exploration, and the people are living in fear, subjugation, and not being direct beneficiaries of their resources. And that's reasons why they're even having issues with the present administration, Ibrahim Traore's administration, and still trying to find ways to gain control of Burkina Faso again. Countries like Somalia are also a good example. Niger, Chad, just to name a few, and even our very own country, Nigeria. Before we gained independence, we know that there was a whole lot of segregation. We were not allowed to enjoy as much of our oil as we are enjoying it now after colonialism has gone. Yes, we are a corrupt country, but that is more of our personal problem than the white man resisting, or should I say, hindering us from having access to our resources. This now brings me to my fifth. I'm really sorry, but I hope with these few points I have been able to convince you that indeed clean energy, green energy is colonialism in disguise. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Karen. Great submission as well. All of you are doing amazing and we're learning as well. And that brings us to our final participant for this episode, Michael Okere, who would be arguing against. Michael, are you ready?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. So I would start in 1, 2, then you can go.
All right, then. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so glad to be here. I'm arguing against this topic. But for me to begin, I would like to give a little clarity on what clean energy is all about. Clean energy do not release carbon. There's no carbon emission associated with clean energy. We talk about wind energy, hydro energy, and geothermal, and so on, like the other participants has mentioned so far. But I would like to address something Karen Bito said. She said something about Burkina Faso. I think it's majorly gold, and I think uranium as the issue in the country. And those things, you don't classify them as critical minerals needed for clean energy. We talk about lithium, we talk about cobalt, we talk about nickel, and these are the major minerals that are needed for clean energy transition. So I would like to say that the world, as we know, is undergoing heavy climate change. We talk about global warming, and we talk about the deleterious effects of climate change, biodiversity losses, even negative impact on human livelihood. So I think humanity as a species should come together to innovate around these issues, to find a way to mitigate. And one of the ways to do so is by adapting to leveraging on clean energy technology. So also, Africa, which is part of the global south, is more in a detriment when it comes to climate change issue. You know, when we talk about global farming issues, it's Africa. Areas like Kenya, areas like Tanzania, where the Mount Kilimanjaro is. We talk about depleting water resources, water crisis in southern part of Africa. We talk about drought in Somalia, in Sudan. We talk about flood in Nigeria. These are all related, even down to the Sahara Desert, which is encroaching down to the Sahel part of Nigeria, causing the Fulani and farmer clash and so on. So there is a scarcity of resources due to climate change, and it impacts the poorer nations more. So I think that instead of us to talk about issues of colonialism, we should talk about how we should leverage new technologies, such as how to educate our people on how to learn how to get solar, get how to set up wind vane, which is currently happening in Nigeria as we speak. Just so, I think last month the president of Nigeria initiated some millions of dollars to have a solar city or something. So I think those are ways for us to leverage clean energy to help us instead of having the mindset that it's a colonial setup for us. So that is my first 2 points. Then the third point for me is that climate change is obviously going to be an issue in the next couple of decades. You know, food scarcity, which is already ravaging Nigeria. I am strongly of the opinion that when we utilize climate change, it's going to provide jobs, it's going to provide means of livelihood for the unemployed. Because we talk about people's solar panel installation, we talk about bio. I have a friend that's into biogas installation in farmlands and so on. So it's some form of livelihood generation for people. I can't remember the other point. Then my final point to all this is that when we talk about colonialism in the true sense of the definition is suppression. I am not being suppressed. Nigeria is not being suppressed in any way to where I can see. In countries like Morocco, they are already adopting renewable energy. Nobody asks them to. They have in North. There's a place they have in their country called the North Solar Plant, Solar City. Sorry. So it's a very massive place where they are trying to generate electricity using solar panels and even supplying to the West. And I think Nigeria as a country should leverage with such technology. We have access to the Sahara Desert. We can set up solar panel and sell electricity to the West. It's done in China, in the Gobi Desert in China. They have set up solar panels and they are using electricity for the greater good. So I would suggest that as Africans, we should keep away with the defeatist. Yes, with these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to establish the fact that colonialism doesn't have anything to do with clean energy. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, everyone. That was 20 minutes of, information. And at this point, I'm going to move the judges to the judging room so that they can deliberate on, who's going to be the winner, second runner up, and the first runner up. So, and this would take 10 minutes and then we'll bring them back and then they will announce the winner. I'm going to be with you guys here. I'm just going to be checking in to be sure that they're almost rounding up. So I don't know who the winner is. I wouldn't know until I hear it. So, alrighty, thank you. And yeah. So I've sent you guys to the judging room so you could, judges, you guys can join. And yeah. Okay, they've all gone. Yeah, Aliya's gone. Okay, great. Oh, guys, this was amazing. I'm not going to lie, this was amazing, and I learned a lot from you guys. Like, I really learned. Just 1 second, let me tell them some things that they need to like note. They have their scoring sheet, of course, but just give me 1 second.
Thank you, Michael. How are you?
I'm good. Are you?
Hi.
Wow. So
I'm fine.
okay. It's just me and you, yeah? The others, the microphone is not on. So you said you that just stream up and
Okay,
I was
so
just
yeah,
trying
for
to
clarity,
navigate
I was giving an example. Yeah, I wasn't saying
Okay.
that Burkina Faso has like it was more like an example of what colonialism has done. You know, when they were colonized, they were exploiting their gold, like you rightly pointed out.
Yeah,
So it was more of an
yeah,
example.
I understand. But still, if you had said the Congo, I would have not brought it up at all. You understand? So it's a debate. So you brought up Niger. So I was trying to counter what you said. Gold gold is not a critical mineral per se. You understand? And yeah, so I just needed to put it in there. Yeah, so that's it.
That's good. Thank you.
Wait, guys,
Yeah.
can I?
Sure.
Guys, I don't know. Can I ask you a question?
Sure. We're here.
Okay, so aside for, I think just Karen is here. So I think it will could go over to Karen too. So I just wanted to ask, like, for the aside the sake of the argument, what do you think?
Yeah.
Do you really think that clean energy is colonialism in disguise? Because I know we are here to defend whatever we want to defend, but what do you think?
Yeah.
Let's be
Personally, we need energy. Let's be very honest. See how we're sweating in Nigeria. There's so much heat. We need it. We very much need it. But then, for the sake of the argument, yes, I had to argue for the side I was giving because we
But
cannot deny we cannot do it by ourselves. Imagine how
yeah,
many years NEPA has been
yeah,
training us. So with
that's
solar,
true.
for example, yeah, that wouldn't be a problem.
That's
clean
true.
energy doesn't. Yeah, clean energy doesn't necessarily mean that everything will be sorted out. Means it's just one of those ways to help us.
The
You
funniest
understand?
part is one thing that
But you
people
understand
don't
that nobody's against clean energy, right? It's the
exactly
approach towards it.
argument, just the
You
debate.
understand? It's not like
Because
we're
first of
against clean energy, but if you've noticed, the countries that are pushing for clean energies are, for me, the greatest people that are having the highest amount of greenhouse emission and gases. Okay, if you want to bring it between Nigeria and China, who do you think who even emits more energy when
all
it comes to
it's China.
industrialization? So do you
Yeah.
understand? Well, of course, they're going to put it, but what benefits is it to Africa as at now, as at today? Because we are barely using so much energy to warrant clean energy to be the thing we should be driving right now.
Hi,
So
Ngozi.
if they
But
want
What's up?
I
clean energy,
feel
I'm fine. They should extract the materials from their side. Do not come to Africa and get a mining site. We're still suffering from
So
the oil boom. Niger Delta is still suffering from it actively today.
I
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
like what
yeah,
what,
Yeah.
that's
what I just
no
wanted
clean
to say,
energy
sorry,
to solve
sorry,
this
Mike.
issue.
Okay.
So what I wanted to say was like, we have sun, so nobody's going to take our sun away from us. I don't know if you guys are aware, like your sun is there, your water is there. Nobody's going to take your sun, nobody's going to take away your water. So those are things that are renewable. So like I'm using a rechargeable lamp. Once it finishes, I'm going to charge it up again, power it up again, and you can even put it out on the sun, and it's going to recharge itself. So those are some of the
Okay.
things you need to consider.
Yeah, Mr. Kelvin. When they say like what she said, Ngozi said something. So it's not, yes, we have the sun, yes, we have the water, we have the land space and all that stuff, but the major thing is the minerals needed to create the solar panel that you're using for your torchlight or for your street light and so on and so forth. So we talk about the lithium, the carbon fiber, all of them. You understand? So, and that is where the major issue is. Who said that resource exploitation, something like that? The first speaker said something like that. Yeah, so I think that is the major issue, resource
Yeah,
exploitation. You understand?
yeah,
So which, like when we say places like Congo, you see what is happening in Congo. It's exploitation of coltan, used for EVs and all that stuff. So that is where the major issue is. You understand? So again, even without this argument, without this whole debate setup, I strongly believe that it's not a matter of colonialism. It's a matter of Africans, the global South. We are not just a serious set of people. That's the truth. People like China, countries like China, India, they have leveraged their manpower, their technology, their population to solve their respective problems. I think Nigeria should do something like that. You understand? So we won't be having the discussion of colonialism or not. And besides,
yes,
sorry, final point. The crude oil, the petroleum we talk about it, there's also some form of colonialism in that sector too, up to
yeah,
now, because
yeah,
we still have our ExxonMobil, we still have our Shell, Chevron,
Exactly. We've not
you know,
yeah,
they're
recovered
still,
so,
from the
yeah,
first wave of colonialism, and now they
yes,
are pushing
Secondly,
colonialism
yeah,
2.0.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah,
for an oil producing country, we are
yeah.
actually getting oil at an outrageous price
Like Ngozi,
compared to,
can I say something?
yeah, you
Ngozi,
can.
like let me ask you a question. Like I just looked up some of the countries that were colonized. Like we got colonized by Britain. I think Britain also colonized some major parts of Dubai, UAE. That's
in the,
UAE, and
yeah,
you can see that past the post the colonialism era. UAE is one of the most developed regions. We also have it brings us to the question: is it the individuals, we ourselves, that are currently mounting the positions that are mounting, or is it the level of division, maybe the tribalistic divisions, the different personalities we have? Because I know in UAE, everybody's a Muslim there, so there's nothing like you being an Igbo, you being a Yoruba, you being an Hausa. So they are all using one, so it helps a lot. But even at that, in Nigeria, we have people that we call our brothers. We have people who call our sisters. We have our own Nigerians. There are even some people in the school of thought that will tell you that it was even better if we had a white man ruling us than what we currently have now. Because getting access to visas, maybe you want to go to wherever you want to go to, it was even far easier. The inflation was even less, and there are even lots of factors. And you can also see like the level of exposure that comes with some of these factors, or some of these assets with parts being colonized. It to some extent it helped, although there are levels of expectation which people are still feeling very, very bad about. But that just brings us to the core concept. Should we really, if I think there are politicians going to build the former governor for Delta State, he went to build a refinery in UAE, Dubai. I don't know if you guys are aware about that. Before he went to
Okay,
jail for
thank you
it.
very much. Thank you very much for that question. And I understand that, yes, UAE was also colonized, but they've been able to use their oil and every other thing to build a lasting economy. But this takes me back to why I would always dread colonialism, because the first things they did when they came into Nigeria was to look for a way to separate us between the Northern Protectorate versus the Southern Protectorate. They had this, they established a ruling system that we're not used to. So whatever you see that we are manifesting today in Nigeria, in our democracy, it's as a result of what the colonial masters brought. I am Igbo. Personally, in Igbo land, we do not have all of this. We don't have the kind of hierarchy system that they brought up. It was new to us. And yes, I'll say leading to the Biafra War, we resisted it a bit. And then they tagged us, oh, haters of Nigeria and all of that. So yes, it's still colonialism in disguise. The fact that, as I stated, UAE, they speak one language. It's easy to separate people that do not speak the same language. Nigeria has over 736 ethnic groups. It would be so hard to get everybody to be on the same page. So imagine somebody coming to say, oh, they wish us better, and instead of trying to bring us together, they look for a way to cause disharmony amongst people. The disharmony is just going to keep spreading year in, year out, especially when there is no with the economic stand of Nigeria and the political backing that our current administration get from these colonial masters. The cycle is just going to keep continuing. So if we even move this into clean energy, it's just going to repeat itself again, and there will be no end in sight. At the end of the day, we'll be a country that do not have enough clean energy to power the nation. We'll be a country with a lot of displaced people because, our lithium and every other thing we need is that, and then we'll still have to now end up buying solar panels. If you know the current price of solar panel in Nigeria, for a country that has, but we do not have the technical know-how to even produce solar panels so that the average Nigerian can even afford it.
Hi,
Kelvin, I
Ngozi.
hope that is enough for you. Thank you.
Hi, Ngozi, what's up? Hello,
Hi.
are you there? Yeah. Are
Go
you
on.
aware? Are you aware that the Nigerian government banned the importation of solar panels like recently, so as to boost the local production of solar panels?
Sorry, I lost you there for a minute. What did you say?
I said, are you aware that the Nigerian government banned the Are you aware that the Nigerian government banned the importation of solar panels so that we can boost our local production?
Yes,
Are you aware that solar
yeah,
panels?
I'm aware that
I,
yes, they did. But then when they made that news, the first question that came to my head was, oh, do we even have any industry enough to produce solar panels that would cover the 36 states in Nigeria? That's the first thing.
you
Banning the importation of solar panels is not an. Is there any solar farm right now that
So
can
can I ask you a
produce
question? Sorry, can I ask you
solar
a question?
panels that would sustain every household in Nigeria.
Can I
And
ask you a
not
question?
yes, currently solar panels are at a high price. Not every
Can I ask you a question?
yes, you can.
So if since the importation of solar panel has been banned, are you there? Since the importation of solar panel has been banned, so do you think is colonialism in this instance when your fellow Nigerian banned the importation of solar panels? Are we not supposed to, if there was colonialism, are we not supposed to be importing solar panels from the West and paying them in dollars and all that stuff? Is that not some form of financial colonialism or something? But in this instance, we now have the capacity to manufacture our solar panel. We ban the importation from wherever, China, Germany, wherever, to make our own. So do you still consider that as a form of colonialism in this instance?
Also, let me add to what you're saying. I think before she responds, I hope you guys can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay, like what I wanted to say is like with the current state of the country, Ngozi, what do you think? Do you think the current price of fuel is compared to the current expenses? Because we have cars being made with Tesla. Imagine you have a car that it's electric car and you are able to charge it compared to you buying fuel. Which do you prefer? Then do you enjoy the noise that comes from these pollutions from these vehicles that are being powered by fossils from foils? Or what do you think about it? For clean energy, it reduces the dependency we have as against making use of petroleum products on a regular basis. We also need to export these petroleum products, refine them, get it also having access to the clean energy reduces our dependency on these sets of products. And like Michael just said, they are also looking forward to encouraging local production of these solar panels. We have some individuals already scaling through with these. There are so many products in the market. We have Sun King, we have Lumos. These are solar products that came out a while back. And if you go to some shops, they are very cheap. Imagine you being able to buy these just this torchlight for maybe about whatever amount you want to buy, instead of you powering up or buying fuel. I think 1 liter of fuel is almost about 1,000 naira, and you need to buy as much as possible just for you to be able to see road, to see at night. So you won't compare the price or the amount you spend on these fossils compared to having renewable energy. Some of these solar panel companies, they also give you affordable plans where you can pay for a set period of time and you are able to scale through. So I think it's something we all need to reconsider. Also, as regards the issues we're currently having with our raw materials and resources, we need to be able to take up responsibility. A larger part of why we are the way we are is because of the greedy nature of people we have in our offices. Because if you take a look at so many politicians that have been able to scale through. We have Peter Obi, we have lots of them. We have different sets of people that are currently been able to make impacts. They didn't have any colonial effects affecting their government. So you can see from those sets of points that it really majorly has to do with the people we are putting in office. Are they people that are user-centric or democratic? Are they people who want to make sure that there are development in the region or in the country, or they want to keep exporting and making sure funds are taken to other places? So that's just it, guys. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I want to add something else, just one final thought of mine. It was a point that it was a point I was supposed to add in my presentation, but I just seem to forget about it and all that. So we talk about the first speaker. I can't remember her name. Sorry, she mentioned Zingozi. Yeah, I think she mentioned something about resource exploitation. That is the core reason why she feels that there is colonialism. But that is not even the case going forward, because even Europe, the US, well, majorly US and Europe, they are now putting in frameworks to fight against
Yes.
uh,
Okay. Michael,
illegal. Yes, please.
the judges are back. For some
Oh,
reason, we lost Ngozi, so I'm thinking maybe it's her network. I'm just gonna quickly just text her. I intentionally don't want to join you guys in your conversation or post. Okay, she's here. Post debate. Um, because when they announce the winner, I will not say what I want to say. So yeah, that is it. I'm just gonna yeah. So okay, that's okay. So judges, do we have a winner? Of course, for you guys to be back. Okay, so who is going to try to speak to the participants first? Please, I would like to see people's faces. Sorry. Kelvin, Michael, and Ngozi, please, I'd like to see your faces so that the judges, when they're talking to you, they kind of like, yeah. So the first thing we need to do is to speak to all the participants with respect to, how you felt about their engagement. Was it based on the scoring sheet that you have? What advice can you give them so that they can be better debaters, better public speakers? I think that's like the major thing right now before we start with the scores or announcement, basically. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Summer. We'll go with the commentaries first before the announcement, right? Okay, so I'll start with participant one, Ngozi. Is that how I pronounce your name? Okay. Well, first things first, I understand how it can be pressuring to be the first person to speak. So I think that kind of took a toll on you, which I completely understand because personally speaking, I used to experience stage fright, so I totally get you. All in all, I would advise you to give a clearer structure on where you're going because I do see that your nervousness led you to reiterate the words. So I'm going to start for thrice in total, and it gives audience an unclear depiction on where you are actually starting from and where your argument is based on. It also leads to you giving only surface level information on examples that could actually be good argument points, such as indigenous rights. I would highly advise you, if you were to talk about this topic again, I would highly advise you to expand the discussion on that because a perspective on clean energy and indigenous right can be derived, and you can show how perhaps corporations may practice clean energy practices on indigenous land. So there's nothing contributive to sustainability itself. That's just an example of it. And also, a highlighted comment that I could give to you is the respect and civility when you try to, I know how this topic can be emotionally taxing. It's just that when you speak in front of people, especially that you may speak in front of government officials, it would be better to express more diplomacy instead of asking, do they actually care or is it just colonialism 2.0? I would advise you to structure it in a way that's like, if the government does care about it, we hope these voices are heard because these voices hold the key to the future, more or less that way. That's it from me for you, Ngozi. Then I'll continue to Kelvin. I honestly believe that you did give a clearer structure, and I do appreciate how you give causalities between an event to the impact, then climate change. I really appreciate that. Also another thing I appreciate is how you cited, oh, hold on. I don't think Summer is here. It's fine, it's live streamed, right?
Yeah.
You cited the International Agency on Energy as a, yes, I think you cited one of the resources, which I think makes your argument more credible. An input that I could give to you is how I think there's a bit of push that you need to give to yourself to be more confident, in the structure that you have, because I felt that you were a bit nervous throughout the process, that it inhibited you from actually convey conveying the most crucial parts of your arguments, especially with how structured you've started the argument with. Then for Karen, I truly appreciate how you gave a clear structure from the first to the second to the third, and you did not forget to cite that throughout your whole argument. One thing that I truly, truly appreciate from you is how, if you notice, when the alarm rang, you knew your time was done, but instead of continuing your argument, you said, I hope my arguments thus far convinces you to perceive this perspective. I think that is such a respectful way, and it's such a, for a lack of better words, I would just say it's a nice way for you to end your argument and convince people, because it just shows that you're already giving your best effort. I also appreciate how you give sources on even the smallest terminologies. Let's say you even cited Oxford dictionaries. That's so thorough of you for this 5-minute argument. Also, I your poetic start, I really like that. But when it comes to being a better public speaker, I'd say honestly just maintain what you're doing right now. Just a little input, do cite more credible sources. Let's say, take an example from Kelvin. He cited the international agencies. Maybe you could do that in the future because it builds more credibility. But all in all, you did a great job. Then finally, thank you too. Then Michael, I think you also did a great job. I really appreciate how you depicted a smooth transition on showing that, yes, some people may agree with green energy being a matter of colonialism, but you need to see another perspective. That was such a good point, because most of the times we only argue based on our adamants, we only argue based on what we stand, but you try to understand another person's perspective, then link it to why your perspective matters. I think that is a basic skill that everyone needs to be a good communicator, so you have that in you. Sometimes I do feel like you're trying to complete one argument, but because you have another argument in mind, you forgot to complete the first argument, then jump to another one. It it would be best if you could remind yourself that it's fine. You can just complete one argument, get it conveyed as robust as possible. Next one. That would be the best advice that I could give to you. But I think all of you did a great job. I get it how 5 minutes is just a small time, so I totally get how it can limit your arguments. That's from me. Thank you. I'll give it over to Summer.
Yeah, sorry guys. For the first time in Canada, I had a network issue that the lights tripped and everything just went off, and I'm like, yo, why now? So I didn't hear some of the comments, but I would go back to the live session to actually hear some of the comments that were given. Where is Karen? Okay, just saw her. Okay, great. Should I give my comment now? Yeah, let me give my comment now. So, you see that thing you guys were doing after the main debate? That fire, that energy. Ngozi, I was shocked. Like, I was like, this is who I needed to see. Right? Like, you have a powerful voice, but you have no idea. So I assumed that it was, tension. Like, because the way you are speaking, the points you are dropping, go back and listen. I want you to go back to the live session. It's on YouTube and play it. That's why I did not pause the recording, because I wanted you guys to go back. You were asking thought-provoking questions. That's what the debate is about. You like when I was like, I wanted to say it, I was like, let me wait till when the judges come and speak before I give you, because girl, that was fire. I feel like you have the voice. I feel like you need, so what I've noticed is that you like when you're debating with people, not just speaking. Because I noticed that when four of you are talking, it was as if there was something in you that just came up. So okay, yeah, so I'm just gonna stop there so that we can announce the winners before Karen's battery goes off. Okay. So which of the judge is gonna be presenting announcing the winners starting from the second runner up so that we could wrap it up. Michael? Chukwudi, sorry. Okay, great. Chukwudi, go ahead,
So
please.
Salina will be doing us the honor of announcing what I was saying. Then we can make maybe individual comments later on.
Okay.
All right, so the winner is
No. Hold up. You have to
hold
start with
on.
like the second runner up, the first runner up, then the winner.
Okay. All right. I think why don't we judges just, give one gives the first runner up, then I'll end up with a winner.
Yeah,
That's
so
fine too.
Okay,
Aliyah, do you
so
want to say who the
yeah,
second
maybe I'll do second runner up and then yeah, someone else can do the first runner
yeah,
up.
you can
Okay,
do the
so the second runner up is Kelvin. Congratulations.
Yay. Really nice. Great. Who is the first runner up, Chukwudi?
The first runner up is Michael. Congratulations, Michael.
Oh, congratulations, Michael. Wow. And
The winner is Karen. Congratulations, Karen.
oh, wow, congratulations. Wow. Okay, so
Congratulations.
we have a winner for the first episode. Any final thoughts,
Yeah.
judges, before we
Okay, so I have a quick notes. First of all, thank you guys for making our time to lend your voices and lend your thoughts to this very interesting topic. So I'll start with participant number one, Ngozi. Um, I think you should do this more often. Yeah, I don't think I think it's gonna like build your confidence more. It's gonna like make you feel more relaxed in the middle of maybe strangers or when you're in public. Okay, you're a bit nervous and at the point the judges were confused whether you were for or against. Yeah, so you sort of like made comments and spoke on points for both sides, for both for the topic and against the topic. And I also commend you for giving examples like cobalt, lithium, and rare earth materials used in making clean energy. But the overall feedback is maybe do this more often, practice more, and maybe prepare more in advance so that you'll be more confident in making public speeches or debates. Okay. And for Kelvin, you started very well, but along the line, your momentum shifted. There was a law of diminishing returns. I think you veered off guard for a while, and you digressed from the topic. Um, you were meant to argue. Kevin argued for as well, correct? For against, rather, you argued against, and when you started very well, you made some points that were supporting your stance, and then towards the end, you veered off the topic, and I don't know if you got emotional or so, but you still started well. So the feedback from the judges is that just when you pick a stance, stick to it, okay? um Even if you get emotional, if you go off guard, try and catch yourself and bring yourself back so you don't steer off direction for so long, okay? Good job regardless. And then for Karen, you made a very bold presentation. You were very articulate. Gave mentioned all the exploitation of human and natural resources that's going on, especially in Africa. that was very vivid. That was very relatable. And like Sausalino mentioned, even when it was time up, you respectfully concluded your debate, which is something moderators and panelists look out for. In as much as it's a competition, we like people to be worthy adversaries, to also be gracious, even in even when having conflicting opinions. Yeah. So the only feedback we have from you is well done, and we hope to see more of you. And for participant four, Michael, Michael, you started very well. I think you are the only participant that offered a rebuttal. Yeah, you started with rebutting what Karen mentioned about the chief cause of the conflict in Burkina Faso. You said it was uranium, but however, you might have erred when you said uranium is not for clean energy. Actually, uranium can be used as for clean energy. For instance, countries that have nuclear reactors, they can use nuclear energy, which is also clean energy and has very low emissions as well. And the only major feedback we'll give you, Michael, is you made a statement, and I might not quote you particularly, but you said, I don't think we should be talking about colonialism here. So I'm gonna give you this feedback personally and also to everybody else. When you're given a topic to speak on, you don't come to your audience or to your panelists and modify the topic, okay? It doesn't need to make sense to you, right? Your job is to pick a side and stick to it, speak on it, defend it, attack your adversaries' opinions respectfully. Just make us believe you, make us side with you, make us stick with you. Yeah, I might have a different opinion as a judge, and then from the way you present your points, I might be swayed, right? So your target is to sway me. Don't worry about the correctness or otherwise or the topic. Although the topic itself is absolutely, it can be absolutely for and against, right? For instance, you guys mentioned that cobalt and lithium have large deposits in Congo. But despite that, there's a massive exploitation of human and natural resources there. And at the end, the countries or the companies that extract all these resources, what are the end game for these countries that have all these deposits? The end game for them is the conflict, while the countries that do the extractions, they have all the windmills, the solar energies, and all that. So I think we should stick to the vivid examples. And for your question, to answer your question, whether or not we should speak about colonialism, the truth is that yes, the answer is in affirmative. We have to speak about colonialism regarding energy extraction, is because the energy they have it, but they have it just land like geopolitical location wise. You just have it because it's in your country. A lot of these countries have deals that they sign. They sign away the mining or the leasing of the land that contains all these deposits, right? Some countries or some companies might have a 100-year agreement with these countries to mine maybe cobalt or lithium exclusively. What it means that even the country where the deposits are sited in can't even interfere, do you understand, until after the agreed period of time. So it's a form of colonialism in the sense that the the resources in question, yeah, we might, if the market price is $3,000 per ounce or per pound, yeah, like we can negotiate with you for 1,000. At the same time, we know a lot of videos, we see a lot of videos where even children as young as 5 years old, they're being sent to mining fields to mine some of these things, right? And and then what's the end thing for them? Like, what are the benefits all these years of mining and extractions? Like, it has only cost pain. The government, they always overthrow government. There's always military juntas rising here and there. There's a form of control as well, right? So you can validly argue for both for and against. Overall, I appreciate you guys for hearing your view and being bold about your stance. And we hope to see more of you guys in future editions. So thank you very much for your time.
Great. Thank you, Chukudi. Thank you, Aliyah, and thank you, Salina. Thank you, everybody. I think my major concern is I want you all to know that you all are public speakers. So the first thing you want to do is to be able to engage the audience. You could throw a question first that kind of like triggers everybody and wants to be like, oh, what's this person saying? I mean, we're all listening, but you know, when you capture the listeners, attention, and then you are saying certain things in certain ways that captures our mind. So keeping us involved from the beginning to the end is very important. And I would also say, this okay, so I think we call them bluffers. I feel that this is something that we need to work on. We're not perfect. This is why we see that some people, attend certain programs just to work on that. So we are still in that learning process, which is why 5 Minute Climergy Feud is here to encourage us to work on how we speak and all of that. And we have been here for, it was meant to be 45 minutes, and we've been here for an hour and 12 minutes. And I am so sorry for taking your time. And this is the end of the first episode. Thank you so much. And I would be reaching out to the winner to send the cash prize. I would look forward to seeing your faces in more episodes. That you participated in this one does not mean you can participate in the next one. The most important thing is that if you want a prize, you can't participate again. So it's also to encourage you to, speak more, be interested in public speaking and debate. So I wish you all a lovely weekend and catch you in the next episode. Bye, guys.